Been out spending some time with my forged camp knife from Takach. Broke down a fair amount of this old deadfall, and all I got left now is the larger, gnarlier bits. Bit beyond what I'd like to work with a small hatchet, but I can easily use the longer blade as a froe to split these down and cut them up relatively easily. The specs on the knife will be in the description. I'm really starting to like this blade. It has a very nice balance of properties. The only thing that I'm still not 100% sure on is the handle. As you can see, is relatively rectangular. See how sharp the corners are? They're not very rounded, and I'm still getting some slight comfort issues. I may take these back a bit and round them off, but I was talking about this a while ago to Collie Harris of CKC Knives. We were just discussing a few blades, and his perspective is always on retention is relatively strong, and then the cross section, if it starts to approach very round, you start to get security issues, which is true. So I need to balance how much I take off and sort of get comfort and security at a decent medium, and I think I might rough up the scales a little bit to get a bit more texture. But I really like the balance of durability and cutting ability that this edge profile has, and you can see that this wood is not anyway at all clean. It's full of knots. I mean, that's pretty gnarly. These are all pieces of root wood, and it's powering through them extremely well, and you can see some cutting ability in the video where I chopped up a bunch of old fence. This has a full height grind, going from the edge probably up to around 3/4. It has an extended blade choil. Not 100% sold on that. Normally I'd bring the handle all the way out, but some people like them visually more than anything else. I mean, it's hard to argue that bringing the handle scale all the way up to about here doesn't improve the knife. I mean, in that case you'd be gripping on the handle and your thumb would wrap up over the front of the handle like this, so your comfort and power would be a bit much better. But again, some people like the looks of this. Taper tang, relatively long blade, decent stock thickness, no issues. Get up there, buddy. The sweet spot for vibration is about right there, and that's essentially the point where you cut that gives you no vibration here, which is where your index finger normally is. So if you're splitting and stuff, you split with the impacts up around that area. Down here you get a lot of vibration in the blade, because of course what's happening is that you're moving, when you move the impact point from here to here, you move the node from here to the center of your hand, which means you get a lot of rotation and vibration here and here, so you get strong vibration in the hand. So there's that wood all split to length. Now of course I can chop it up to be the same size as these pieces, which are about a foot. But normally I'll leave these pieces for when the fire's starting to get going, and then I can take these. They're nice to have sort of as camp pit fires, beach fire wood, because they're a bit longer and burn a bit slower. Now, just to check the edge, which I know is perfectly fine anyway, here's some relatively soft vegetation. This is just grassy material. And you can see none of that chopping or splitting had any effect on the edge. It'll easily cut light grasses, and in fact, let's go up here. If you wanted to get down and sort of duck walk, you can easily cut the lightest grasses still. It's almost no. So overall, I'm very pleased with how this blade is turning out. If I had my time back again, a few things I'd change when I was ordering it. I'd probably get the blade about 2 inches longer, and I'd make sure that the handle came up full around the choil area, fully enclosed that, and I'd make sure that the handle fully enclosed the tang. Right now you can see the tang is exposed, and basically my main concern is having exposed tangs is when it does get cold here, which it does. Having the tang fully enclosed in an insulating material lets me work with bare hands a lot longer, or essentially to lower temperatures. But so yeah, fully enclose the tang, probably taper it a bit more, another couple of inches on the blade, and bring the handle all the way out up to around here, so I could do a grip here on the handle, and then it's got a nice decent, even if I wanted to, a two-hand grip, but as of right now it's relatively light for a two-hand grip. And the sheath came out absolutely perfect. Kydex is not really great for sheath material here. Kydex gets relatively brittle when it gets cold, and it gets cold here a lot. But the leather looks perfect. It's excellently functional. The blade comes in, comes out perfectly. There's no retention strap on the blade specifically. I didn't want one. I got a nice dangler up there. Blade moves freely. Absolutely perfect. I'm very happy with the way the retention system came out. So you can see that's an old style straight handle Battle Mistress from Boss Combat. That's so old that when they were made, they were just called Battle Mistress. Didn't even have any other letters with them. On bottom, that's an MT-151, which was inspired by the Cold Steel Trailmaster. Inspired so well that it actually has the exact same faults as the original Cold Steel Trailmaster, which I used in Carbon 5, which is that the handle material wears smooth very, very quickly in any of the contact points. You can see that's where I normally hold it to get a bit more power on the cut. So you can see the craton is worn down heavily there. And the other thing is it becomes unbonded to the tang relatively easy and just moves around in hand. But for a larger, lighter knife, that works relatively well. And that was just a size comparison, so you can get a feel for just how big the Takach Kemp knife actually is. But again, turning out to be a really great knife, and look forward to using it more in the fall.